Hi everybody, Joe and Zach, your local Pittsburgh realtors, here today to talk to you about what does the buyer do once their offer is accepted. And that's a really exciting part of the process, especially nowadays with offers being so difficult to get accepted. So sometimes the buyers put in a few offers before they get their final, before they get that house they really want and get it accepted. And there's that initial feeling of excitement and happiness, and you want to call everybody and say, hey, they accepted our offer.
Finally.
And it is fun to celebrate a little that first night. I often tell buyers do that. Hey, go have dinner, have a couple of drinks, do whatever you want to do to celebrate, and tomorrow we'll talk again and we'll start talking about the nuts and bolts of what we need to do now that we got our offer accepted. So keep this brief and kind of general. Obviously, the agent's going to help you through this whole process. I have a program that's like a little timeline I set up for people and share with them and say, first is you have hand money. You have to, give me a check or send a check through, wire it to our company, and they hold that money in escrow. You want to have you or your agent set up the closing with the closing company, start giving the information to them so they can do the title search, all those kind of things. You want to send your copy of your sales agreement to your lender so they can get started on the mortgage process with you, lock in your rate, all those kind of things. You want to hire a home inspector. Your agent can usually help you quite a bit with that. We have a number of them listed on some information we have, but also we have some that we've worked with that we know do a good job and can be, a real good asset for you to use. As part of that, sometimes you'll do a home inspection, you'll do a radon test, you'll do a pest, and a lot of people now are opting to do sewer camera line tests. You have to usually set that up with a plumber and try and coordinate that to be the same day if possible. It's not always possible, but those are all tasks that need to be done. Like I said, it's exciting to get your offer accepted, but then that's kind of when a lot of different kind of work starts. And probably the most important part of that part of the process is to keep the closing on track, to close on time and smoothly. It's a lot of legwork. The bank is going to send you a lot of documents to sign, a lot of things to look over. The closing company is going to send you things. The realtors are going to probably be sending you things to look at and sign, and to just deal with each of those as they come in and in a timely manner, and finish each of those tasks is really going to be helpful to keeping you on track and making sure. I won't go too deeply into this topic, but the reason why I create that timeline is if you don't submit your hand money within the time frame that's required, you are in violation of the contract. If you don't respond to your inspection in the time frame, you're in violation of the contract. So you could jeopardize the whole transaction if you aren't able to fulfill some of those time frame constraints. The good news is, if there is something that comes up, for example, you want to do a home inspection within 10 days, but you can't find a home inspector that can do one, you can do what's called a CTA, change the terms addendum, and say we'd like to extend this time period from 10 days to 12 days or, that sort of thing. So there are tools, but as I said, you have to stay on top of these time frame constraints to make sure that you're following them and that you don't put yourself at risk by falling out of the contract. Most of the time, it can be resolved and worked through fairly easily. The seller or the buyer may not be happy about it, but they'd much rather keep the deal together and wait an extra day or two than to have it fall apart.
And as a buyer, if you have a good agent, you don't have to worry about these things.
Right.
We basically hold your hand through it. As long as you're doing your thing, when you're supposed to do it. We can't go and get bank statements for you. We can tell you to do it, and we'll keep you on track on timelines for things, but a lot of times it's up to you to really do it. We can guide you through the whole thing though, but it's if you drag your feet, you end up at a point where you have to say the sellers are going to be upset. We got to push closing back, and then it's it could go off the rails at that point. So
yeah, and it's okay if you miss something. I mean, we know you're overwhelmed and inundated with requests for information and forms and everything, and that's why we, like Zach said, we keep on top of it. It's our responsibility as to professionals in real estate to make sure that you don't miss those targets. We don't want to harass you, but we'll kind of send you friendly reminders like, hey, you have 3 more days to get this done.
Yeah.
I know everybody's busy, and it can get, and we can help out with things too.
Yeah.
We're always, I think, Zach, and our motto is, if there's a hole, try and fill it. We've all done things to help out. Maybe you can't attend the home inspection and we go for you, or drop something off. I've dropped things off at Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority for people. I mean, we just need to know what's happening so we can make sure we get it to the finish line.
Yeah, you need a ride to the bank.
Sure.
We don't.
Yeah, I've written lots of people to closing, all kind of things. So we'll work together as a team to make sure we get it done and don't miss any of those dates and times. But obviously, once again, like we always say at the end of these videos, if you have specific questions or want more information on this, call us, text us, get us through social media. We're happy to help out and answer questions anytime. Thanks for listening.